Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. So, I thought of one more test case. That's something we just kind of want to keep an eye on. Gino. I use a slightly different format for this. I don't think it's going to be a big deal here. Oh, now this is technically going to family trees. Oh, you're actually going through the cache, too. Well, that's effectively a cache to that, so that is family trees, just with some slightly different arguments. Actually, that might end up... No, it's just slightly different arguments. So that is going to specify... So we got that. It's not going to be server ID. It's going to be server name, which actually is a pretty big thing itself. We don't have an epoch. We have a start time and an end time. Is he using the same for both? I mean, it seems to be working. Uh, 160. Oh, no, it is slightly different. So we must be giving their lifetime. 16017119117. Oh, this might be more recent than, because this is somebody who just died. So this might, yeah, that was 4 hours ago. It's not even going to be in our data set. Let's try all-time long lines. Of course, those are going to be really big trees. You know, anything that's this old is going to be really big trees. Today's long lines. I'm not even sure 4 days is in here yet. Oh, actually, we can verify that. Is that what I copied? Yeah, that's what I copied. Oh, there's something. I guess an Eve, well, getting an exact link to one of the other servers might be a bit tricky. Oh no. 62838. E383692. All right. So, the thing we need to deal with is data imports with a revised database structure. So, update lineage is its own thing. Okay, so it's going through log files. And I think in the ordinary order of things, names come through second. So we're only updating names for existing records. So only the name... It's like you could maybe imagine scenarios that would be a problem. But in the ordinary order of things, that would be fine. If it's a lifelog... Okay, so that's for the file tracking. Either load names or load log. Load log... I don't think load log changes. I might eventually have to not make a placeholder for name or something. Death columns, death data. Birth columns, birth data. Key columns, common columns. Now, when we'll deal with account hash, it's going to be its own thing. So, this is still lifelogs. I think... Oop. Load names is the only thing that has to change. Player ID. Okay, so this attempts to do an optimized import if something weird happened. We attempt to go name by name. So what we're doing now If it looks like it's a strictly ascending sequence, we attempt to look up the epoch once and use that to update people. We attempt to find one, get the epoch, the most recent epoch used by that player. Oh, because this is find. So that's our true return. We map it to that stuff and then use the import from our bulk import plugin. Well, if we ended up with a name that wasn't attached to a life, it wouldn't be the worst thing. So I could just attempt to insert. What's that? It's a... Well, no, this has a... Well, on duplicate key. It has its own key columns. On duplicate update, on duplicate key ignore. So step one, oh, we got the entire thing. This was doing lives. This is, oh, I need a model for this. And this is like, this is an overly complicated model. I guess the only thing I really need is that. If I want to do more stuff with it, maybe I want to identify some associations and things. But I'm mostly not using these now, I think. It's just that the import plugin is only written for active record. And, well, it was on duplicate key something. All right, so we prepared the arrays for this. We actually... Well, I might want something like this when I go to find matching names. I think it's just on duplicate key ignore. Were you a... Yeah, you were a hash, so that takes care of that. So name import. And if that doesn't work, oh, you know, this part we do regardless. Because you don't care about epochs or anything. Now, the question is, how do we then go through and update all of our players? Oh, you know what? We then have to query it back. We have to get exactly those names. Oh, you were an array. Naming is hard. Table. All right, So the simple case would be, let's just be name table. We've got a server ID. We've got, oh, the player ID is from there. Well, actually, if we're going on an individual, for this one, we don't need to do that actually. So this has to be, yeah, this is just an ordinary update statement. But it's a conjoined update statement. What's that? I think I know how to do better in SQL. So live's going to be a big part of it. I think we're going to need a sub-expression. Yeah, essentially Rails console. Okay, so that was some information it was getting. So 17. I'm not the player ID in this case. Well, I do still have a name field. Just to pick one. Wow. I thought that would be a simpler query. Alright, now we have a player ID. And that should be a simpler lookup. It's still a big table. Well, my key is technically epoch. This particular query is not going to be epoch. So now we need to figure out, well, there's this bit, which is, order's probably the same? No. Non-integer constant in order by. Did you do something like... non-integer so that still results the same thing. Okay, so order by epoch, that works. How do we do ordering? Over. Order specifications. SQL column ask. SQL.askDesk. They're really about the same length. I presume this is still going to be limit 1. Oh wait, actually this is server ID, player ID, updating name. We don't need to cross the names here. I have to join the name table. I need to do an update where. Okay, so we've got, that's basically that expression. We might need a version of it somewhere. Okay, so that's we need DB names. I sort of did this before, but it was a cross statement thing. Not an update. Well, so this would become select ID is what the thing we want out of it is. Does that query directly? No. So that's the statement that does that. We want our other statement to update ID as this statement. Is that right? Init1 dot update names ID as that. Not supported on data sets with limits or offsets. So you do support this apparently, but I don't know how to do the subquery without just doing a completely separate query. No, I could take take the result from my other query. Let's see, would it be worth turning it into a hash table? Because you've got a size of names operation to do that. And then you still got to do the hash lookups. Or you have a lives by names lookup. Limits or offsets. Well, I only want to update the most recent life of that name. So I either have to query the name to get the ID, or query to get the life, or... And this is just saying it's not supported. Three, 691 333. Yeah, just not supported. So we would actually have to use active record if, assuming we had that ID. I mean, maybe SQL is actually being smarter about that. Is it gonna catch? Yeah, it doesn't even give me the attempted SQL. Is this actually a general problem? That's something different. Update top n rows of data. That's sort of it. Update limit. SQL just says they won't do it. Now they don't know which. This is my SQL. This could be a security thing. Caret row, primary key to the table. Okay, okay, so this is saying update where this is in the limited query. So maybe the formatting of the query is off. So I really want to say, well, update life. We still have a subquery. So it would be update life where ID is this thing we selected by these conditions. Which would be a different format. So blah, 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 blah. So that's our select condition. Limit 1, and then we want to select, you've still got an ID even though we don't use it for much. So we would then use that as a subquery. dblives dot where ID is in that. No operator matches the given name and argument types, or ID in ID. So do I just have this subquery? Where DB select ID from lives where server invalid expression. Oh, I left the 2A on there. That would mess it up. Doesn't recognize it's an expression. Okay, that gets us one record. And then this is not a limited expression. So what, like, how would that work? You join it with itself with a limit? But would that count as the outer expression having it though? So we select you. I think I lost my quick and dirty example. So I got that. We tried. Well, the update SQL will actually work to test it without actually doing anything. Well, 11 doubles dots. Update live, set name, blah, 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 where ID. Ah, yeah. So the issue is I had this statement that I was using to update before, which is like update the most recent one, is going to be our guess. However, this type of format doesn't work with SQL. It says that it doesn't support updates where there's a limit in play. So we're doing this kind of subquery thing to get the limit in here and then use that in the update expression. So what we actually want to do is not just not just that. We want names ID to be a whole expression that I don't think I copied anywhere. Names dot where name Okay, so that's the SQL. It generated select ID from names where name equals. So given that we know the name and we can specify the conditions for the life, that would get it into one statement. Yeah. All right, can we format that nicer? So DB lives where ID is in subquery. That has a whole bunch of conditions. Select ID, that matches you. We would eventually have to actually do that. And then you're a sub-expression. Names where name equals. Namelog.name? I pushed it off here. Player ID. Oh, yeah, player ID. Namelog.player ID. Namelog.player ID. Server is server ID. What the heck happened here? I guess these read a little bit nicer. I think you'd have to drop to ARL to do the subqueries, though. Or, I mean, it might get easier if you did methods on all of the appropriate objects. Okay, so that would give us an update. Well, I know I used to have some things that picked up a particular old log and attempted to do it. So I don't actually need the name table yet. Right, because I commented this stuff out, so it's complaining about that. And we actually moved that statement. Signed but unused variable. Let's see, can I get this to do... Loop, 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 loop. Do I have an easy way to make this do only like one round of stuff? I mean, I can... da, 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 da. Yeah, you get a little bit of data independence, database independence, which I've got enough Postgres stuff that's already kind of hard. No, we want more recall load names. If lifelog. So we're treating that independently. So if log file.names. So we want to say that it's been updated. Just so we can kind of make a little bit of progress. And then say if log file.names. Would it just be returned from here? Well, we're technically in a closure. I've forgotten how all the returns work there. I'm gonna take a short break though. I'll be back in a minute. But you know, it kind of solves that problem with money under your feet.
Some more pies going. Let me grab some kindling. Yeah, I'm gonna eat it. Right out of there. Yoink. Come on, oh, well, yeesh. Oof. Alright. Let me be of use in this world. That's all I want, is to be of use to the world. Do 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 do. Whoop, jeez, crap. Lady, move. Lady, move. I messed up. I can't get the one that's behind you. There we go. Yeah. Oh my gosh. When noobs help without keyboards. That was.
Why are you following me, Daddy?
Haskin is confused. Yes, Haskin is confused. Because I don't know what to do. I seriously can't.
Why are you following me, Daddy?
I don't know what to do. I seriously don't know what to do. Like, I'm not used to.
I am getting super old. You want my... Hi. You want... Go away. You want my boots? You want the blue shirt? What do you want? You want the wooden shoe? Or do you want the other shoe? Which one do you want? I will give you whatever you want, kiddo. Do you want this? You want my hat? Yes, you want my hat. No, you want the shoe. And the hat. Good? Yes. Okay, good. I'm glad that I could give the baby what he always...
And we're back. Let's see. I mean, it's really like exit from a block. Return always causes the enclosing method to return. Well, I guess, yeah, break is sufficient for a single loop. And if it's already processed, we'll skip over it. No. This... See, the local one probably doesn't need environment variables because it's using the default database. Okay. We found something else. Lifelog cache. Okay, so actually there was probably a path issue here. I think I did do the path for that. Foreman start. Lives test. Nope, that's live test. Hey, we had an actual task this time. Did it not do any names? It did do names. It didn't fail. But it also didn't break. Oh, maybe it was this is load server, so it was doing one round in each server. Okay. We did do... So we did September 29th. September 29th. Oh, and I'm not running the code that does the old name update. So that's the thing. So I could have picked an easier one. Okay, there's an ID. It seems like a large-ish ID. Is there a life with that? Four, 5, 9, 7, 4, 1. Yes. Okay, so that seems to work. Maybe I do just want to exit. Actually, we just have... Yeah, I think we have exit. I'm actually not... Let's take an argument. so that we only kind of do one actual data update at a time. Now, so that actually wasn't too bad. Sergeant found you. Well, hello. I didn't particularly notice the time that took, I guess. But oh, okay, I did import on the names, and then we did do a loop for this. Would a form of this work with... It would have to be a kind of join, I guess. So what we were doing was a big import that was doing key matching. And do you know how to code a flight tracker? I mean, if I set that as a mission, I might. Can you elaborate? Well, I guess I don't know. I could probably figure it out. Okay. And what is... Have you just not found any things that do that? I'm gonna need a lot more context on what you're trying to accomplish to comment on that. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna need more context on that too. It's like, yeah. What flights are you trying to track? What do you want to show? What kind of website are you trying to put it on? Okay, so it's Wix, which is probably going to have some limited options. Also, it might not be a public site yet. I don't know if that's like, if it's not published yet, or if that's an editor link. Not public, no IP. Okay. Well, I mean, the Wix site thing does sound like if they're big enough, they could have their own little domain. My site is published. Well, now you say this is saying that address correct. This would be like a 404 if just this part was wrong. Yeah, maybe they have a special downloadable editor that installs a special thing for that TLD so that you can edit it locally or something. So, from the name Aviation Fans, I'm assuming you want to track all flights? Wixsite.com. That helps. Okay. That's what we're trying to put in Flight Tracker. Which, not surprisingly, not a whole lot here yet. So, is this like all flights? Is this put in a flight and you can track it? No, I don't use Wix personally. So I don't know if they're restricted to just widgets or if they have a thing we could paste in any kind of embed. All flights. So for this, we'd be looking for like some kind of flight tracker embed. Linking and embedding FlightAware on your website. By exposing the site to others, we know the best flight tracker. I mean, maybe this only operates as it's running. Because I don't actually see anything operating here. I mean, I see weather data and I see airports. Oh, no, this is delay map. Okay. Okay, this is delay map. Example, what's FlightAware? Real-time worldwide flight traffic. Yeah, so FlightAware might have some useful widgets. Oh, okay. So so here's that thing. This looks like the flight tracker is searched by flight number or route number. These are probably okay. The images for the data. So it'd be nice to credit them if you're getting data. Flight radar. Ah, that's nice. This is like stuff about that. There is settings. Blog posts. You might have to log in to get to that kind of stuff. Apps, data history, subscription plans. Blog forum. Might be the login. Your personal flight logbook. Okay, yeah, it doesn't sound like what we want. All right, that was a I actually don't have a big enough screen for this. That will help. Oh, and now it, okay. About. Search, flights, pin flight, statistics, apps, iOS, Android, nope. Following an aircraft, can you help me find a flight? Subscription. Doesn't say what a subscription does, but probably a different page for that. Yeah, nothing about like embeds. Yeah, this is like how they get their data. Yeah, so I'd probably go back to like flight tracker embed or flight tracker widget. Because there's definitely something here. I don't know if it's quite what you want. Plane flight tracker. Air traffic mode, flight number tracker, airport departures and arrivals. This is called embed. Oh, hey, look, it's FlightAware. We already found them. And these guys don't really have the. Yeah, so they don't have the embed code on here. Oh no, embed map. Maybe this. Oh, that was okay. That link. Yeah. Okay. So this is their site. Huh. Okay. So this was actually to the other site. So there's this one. Yeah. So this we've already turned up 2 on embed, and if we did widget, AirNav radar box. That's another one. Now, what is this? Login. Oh, maybe this thing like is the widget. Well, maybe not. Okay, yeah, it says widget equal. Well, I guess widget equals 1. I don't. You'd have to check their terms for using that. Easy to use widget. The embed term looks like it's turning up better results. I'm not too impressed with widget so far. Oh. In part because we're not actually searching for that. So we got a widget equals 1. Reefer widget. No, not real embed instructions again. Yeah, I think embed's a better term. So that should give you a couple of options. Or, now, do you know how to use the embeds? Now, I've not used, and you swap this in for whichever one you want. That's link to it, not the embed itself. So yeah, you need the iframe. Commercial integrators, that's delay map. Okay. This is link. Oh, ew. Okay, so the delay map is embeddable. This is not necessarily embeddable. I didn't pop this out. This one, they've got some ads on it, but they want to have something for providing the surface. Yeah, so you're generally going to want like some kind of iframer embed. So I don't know. Let's see if there's how to use embed codes in Wix. Adding the embed code to Wix. So you should be able to find that. Embedding guide. Okay, so embed a form. Well, the form might be a bit more specific. And they might have a thing for forms specifically. Edit site, advanced editor. Wix advanced editor, HTML iframe. So add more HTML iframe, enter code, and then you'll have a box where you can put in the iframe. In this case, it was for a form. Yeah, it's not code. It's you go to say this or whatever. So when you find you copy this, copy paste. Find this or similar instructions. Add this element like you added any other element. And on this particular iframe, HTML iframe, you can enter code and paste that in. Looks like this one is mostly just an address. They've got some other things on there. In that case, you might be able to just pull out that address and put it in a website address. Oh, this is actually their particular form, but and then this is just a text-based tutorial I could find. There's some videos. How to add a square checkout button. Now, this isn't necessarily an embed. Copy the button. Well, that's WordPress, Squarespace. My site, edit site, plus sign, more, HTML code, enter code. Paste the code. So same process we saw on the other one. You might have to go through a couple of those different widgets to find one that really suits your need, but well, I guess I clicked through one of these. Or otherwise closed it. But the flight tracker embed found several of them. Maybe I changed this one. No. So that was these guys. There's probably gonna be more that have these screenshot guides. Plus there were the videos. So was it this one? Yeah. Yeah, so this one had a couple different things. We have air traffic Emma tracker, airport departures and arrivals. And I didn't even get very far down my search list. So there's probably a few more out there. All right, where were we? All right, so we found that we did, in fact, update you. Added it, but it's still gray. It might not run that in the preview. I'm not sure. Although their forum was running. Maybe if it's an iframe and an iframe, it doesn't preview it. That's kind of a hard one to debug. But we found a flight tracker, and there you can get a couple options. If you're having trouble getting that show up on Wix, you might need to be looking for like Wix support forums or something with people that have experience in that platform. You could also try hitting up some of the videos on like adding an embed or an iframe to Wix. See if there's any documentation out there. But I have not used it, so I can't offer you a whole lot of help there. Now, you actually do have a name, which is interesting. Do I need to translate the date to see if this was recent? Oh no, we've got a player ID. And we had the name log. Yeah. Because I thought I had taken out the code that updated the name field in the life. Had I already imported this sometime? I mean, I'm updating the record. I've got the name. We could keep putting them in for a little bit, but this is shortly going to lead to deleting that column, I think. So, I think that worked. But the fact that we have a name there is a little odd. See, like something else updated that. But if it was in this name log and we updated this name log, or uploaded this name log, we wouldn't have had the name before this got processed. Oh, you know what? You know what? When it's doing name logs and life logs and things, it actually like updates like the last 3 days. So it might have been like redoing this one, but it was already updated. So the date changed, but it had already been done. What would that mean? That means it would try to do this on duplicate key ignore. And it would try to do this, but we would have already linked that from before, so it doesn't prove that that actually worked. Well, I guess for updates, we can... Can I print something out to get a... I mean, as long as it ran that, which it should have. It's an else. I guess the thing would be if we didn't find the record to update. All right. Is there a import-based form of that? If we know the epoch or the player ID, we have the server ID. We could import key. And then there was on duplicate key update, conflict target columns to update. And actually, this is probably the code I sort of deleted here. Life.import key columns plus hash and name. Well, I need to have pre-computed the name IDs. So to do that bulk database operation, I'd have to do all of the correlation here. Well, that's kind of what I was doing to map. No, I was actually writing the names. Names import. We get the epoch, and then having this is actually doing the correlation for the data import. But we need to write the name IDs instead of the names directly. And since that's a big old data import, that's not going to be a statement. All right, so it's going to be a thing like that. Yep, we're in load names. So I had started doing the IDs and the names. So we've got player ID, We need it's hard to say. I mean, unless that thing is an iframe and it's not letting you have an iframe in an iframe, In which case there was the address mode. You could try pulling out something like that. Oh, let's see, where are we? Actually, I'm not sure it's going to completely work in an index or on a local file. I'm going to do a server. That's you. Yeah, I mean, the widget in general works. So this might have to be a Wix support thing. The dimensions are not great. Actually, it seems to be ignoring the dimensions. That might be the surrounding page thing. There's really nothing there. Because there were width 100%. Yeah, so you'd have to set the container to be something useful. Yeah, so that would be some kind of issue getting iframes to work in Wix. Using iframes, external services, using the HTML element using the embedded site. Yeah. Contains HTTPS, not HTTP, or it will not be displayed. Where was it? Oh, this one's HTTP. Where's my little test site here? Now, it might not actually like this because I'm not running an HTTPS site myself. Yeah. SSL record that exceeded the maximum oh. So, yeah, that particular site might not have a good SSL. But yeah, this might be the problem. So this particular site doesn't seem... Yep. That's actually a server problem. So they only have the delay map that they're really showing. Oh, squawk this. Okay, that's for a particular flight. Airport delay, airport delay. Yeah, it seems to be the only actual embed. Oh, no, we found those guys already. They don't have HTTPS. I don't think any of that's in bed. That flight approach only seems to have a delay map. Yeah, did you exclude? Does that like make it more strict? Flight radar web. I don't think we hit that one before. That's air nav. Actually, no, we did hit that one in widget mode. Because we hit the URL for it. Oh, this actually goes to their full site with that. Where's the official documentation for the widget? Map options? There's some stuff down here that's hidden now. Widget. You must be logged in to get code. I don't know if that involves the paid version. Although we could kind of cheat. So that's spotty iframe. Okay, so this has some coordinates specified, but that's basically it. We saw the widget equals 1, and then that is the lat long and zoom specifiers. Yeah. Like, I want to copy just that as text, but maybe iframe would copy that way? Okay, this did all... Well, I guess that's technically proper to escape that stuff. Okay. So that's an HTTPS embed. Da, 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 da. I don't know how well this is going to translate. Seems like it pretty much came through okay. Where were we? Yeah, I did do this. All right. We're looking at, does it make sense to try and do a bulk import on this? The other one we did seemed like it went kind of okay. Or rather, I did not notice a significant lag even going through the loop. So maybe I just let that run and see if it even is slow enough to care about. Yeah, I feel like we're getting a longer pause at names. It's still not terrible. If I ever have to do a bulk import again, I might notice it. So names import didn't really break down which step we were doing. How do we do that? Yeah, it was that. Let's see. And we still, nope, this is too far. Wrong block. So that is the direct name import. That is that one. So we were saying, okay, we need the actual names. We need the... That was just the names. This is the data fields to input there. This is just the raw names to look up to get us a table. And we can either search that or build a hash table out of it. I guess the advantage of not building the hash table would be less garbage collection pressure. It might be a little bit faster by itself. So that's going to be an ID name format. Then this was the thing we were doing that gave us the columns we're going to care about. So server ID, epoch, player ID. Right, because this is an import that can create records. So we still have that little issue that we might create a record that was name only. But now we need to... So name log is a thing that has... Well, we're going to have to look these up on a per basis anyway. So name table dot find. And this just goes until we find true. So name table is going to be a... It's going to be a named hash record. Probably symbols. Yes, looks like that's returning results in symbols. Actually, we need to be checking if row name equals namelog.name. Let's see, so that would be no expression, that would be false for outside of it. Else, find... Oh, does find give me an index or... Probably an index or something. So we want to do... No, find might be an enumerable method. Oh, wait, it returns the object. And so it returns the first for which block is not false. So we could do that. I have naming again. And so namelog.name. It's not going to be name, it's going to be found ID. And look at key and nor. All right, so those are still key columns, which I think we were using. Yeah, key columns plus this stuff. Name ID. Oh no, this is this is namelogs.maps. I had that there as a map. It actually was supposed to be return value. Key columns, conflict target, key columns, columns, only update. Wait, if I only updated name. Then that may have never worked. Da, 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 da. Well, oh, that's for a conflict. If it generates a new record, it would still do that. So if we already find this, which we actually expect to, we update the name ID. If we created a record just for the name, we don't really have enough information to be able to do anything useful, so we're just going to drop that. Hmm. Okay, so we found an HTTPS site. It might, you know what? It might not like the and amps. You might have to turn those back into just the plain ampersands. So you need to get the ampersand, the AMP, and the semicolon after it. And I guess you would just delete the AMP semicolon because it's replacing an ampersand. That's like an internal coding, but they might be expecting you to paste in the one without that. And for what's there, you could do just the URL version from what I saw before. Iframes, the code that's won't be responsive. Okay. Better from being embedded on external platforms. Well, it worked in my local page. Maybe they're doing something more complex there. Blocks the... Oh, so if they're doing it in iframe and then, well, they aren't mentioning specifically iframe there. Oh, you can test your HTML code below. Well, it doesn't seem to be a fundamental issue. And, well, yeah, this does have the amps. But it's not like they're blocking Wix.com or anything. Oh, maybe this is different than that embed. Embed a smell. Maybe it has to be this one. They do not have a sample for this one though, but this did work even in the HTML one. So more embed a site, and the website address would be this part. Once again, HTTPS only. This is where you probably need to see if they have like a support forum or something. I mean, they say they can't do stuff about specific codes, but I mean, there have to be other Wix people who are running into embedding issues. All right, so this says we're going to try to do this bulk. We're going to get an epoch. We need to map all of this to a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, that's the debug console. Did I get something confused with database connections because I interrupted it? Oops. Bulk names. That's actually slower, it feels like. A lot slower. So we've got the query, maybe hash table would have been better. So now I need to break this down, figure out, okay, so we start bulk names. Epoch shouldn't be an issue, so we are mapping. We are importing. We are deleting. And if it's this loop, and if I print it out per loop, then the console IO will take over. Bulk names, mapping names. Yeah, so that loop is ridiculous. Okay. Oh, you need premium to do the embeds? They did say something about unlocking certain features. So I guess that this little test box doesn't have the restrictions on it. Where was the restrictions? Not sandboxed. A sandboxed iframe. Code and premium science is not sandboxed. Okay. Yeah, I don't. You could search around for workarounds, but that's going to be a Wix specific thing, which I don't know anything about. But I mean, I loaded that on a local web page, which doesn't have any domain. But maybe it's specific to the way they're sandboxing it. Well, let's give hash table a try. So we get a names table. We need to convert that. Can we do a map on that? I know on a name and a hash. Well, no, it's a hash. You can do key value, but this isn't what we. That isn't what we want here. It's not. It's not in that format at all. This is just a. Yeah. Name table. Name table is an array. It's not going to really map it in any way. We just have to go through each entry. JSON LD code. I think I worked on that in a project. JSON data for linking. Yeah, so this is a thing to provide metadata on a site. So like the place I was working at, they were running a online store. So on each product page, they would have, product name, price, shipping time, manufacturer, and that kind of stuff, on a page about a thing. So this would be, some page about John Lennon. And then this would be like this data that like bots can go and fetch. And then maybe there's some other examples here of things that use it, but pay and embed or code and embed, but I can't code. So is JSON LD something that somebody else was trying to do that required the same account level? Because I don't see how that's relevant to this. Oh, that's for the SEO stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it might be that they let you do custom HTML, and then you could do things like this and embeds, but that's just not your expertise. So yeah, JSON LD for SEO. I guess the product information was kind of for SEO. Schema.org data. Well, is this schema.org, name, image, description? Oh, offers. Yeah, so this is getting into stores again. So you'd have to know what data you wanted to put in there. And that would take some research. Schema.org. So yeah, you'd have to know what data was there and what you wanted it to be. No. We're indexing the names to give us the IDs. So instead of this, we could be able to just look up namelog.name. Oh, I never put an if found around here. Well, if it's nil, then the ID would be nil, and we'll be right back where we were with no identified name. Okay, and that's an error. Can't write unknown attribute name ID. Lives import. Oh, names ID. So that actually went much faster, assuming it did anything. Assuming it did anything, how about we print one of them, which could end up being somebody without a name. Oh, we got an ID. So was there only one left, or do I still have an exit in here? Oh, I do still have an exit in here. Okay. Well, that worked much better than the loop. Can I remove? All right, so we can leave that in for a little bit longer. Okay, the people on the low pop servers aren't necessarily doing names. Not a big surprise. All right. Oop. Load name. Okay, so that's the amount of stuff we need normally. We do have an import here. I'd like to have it say we're doing that before we get into something. Oh, you know what? I think I did see looping names because there was 0. And that does check for if it's a actual number. All right, I think I actually did have notes as part of this. Anything else? Oh, we had a name model to use for the import, and don't need that. No. So I have done some much more recent stuff. I have, yeah, family trees. And lives, start time, end time. No, it's not gonna be past 2 hours. Maybe past 2 days. No, it's not. It's not a T. Okay, that's very messy. Name null. Uh-oh. Well, some of the most recent ones are going to be null. Okay, we do have names. And this also wasn't server. This also wasn't big server. Well, still some nulls in there. Oh, yeah, disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. Okay, we do have some names from recent families. All right, so I think we're clear to drop the original names. No, G migration. Migration. So we have add. Oh, I know we added the name index, so that's a thing. Is it add or remove? And maybe remove would have done something. Remove, delete. Have I removed? I probably haven't removed any columns. get in this project. Changing columns? Change column. Okay, so actually this is going to be a topic for creating a table, changing. Change. Oh, remove column. I guess they mentioned that with add column. So probably it's going to be remove index. Like if all the stuff is there, I could add it back. Now, what did I originally specify in create lives? Just a string. So that would be add lives name. That lets it be reversible because it is technically in a change. If we ever do have to reverse this, then re-import names from scratch. Any other name stuff in here? Any other migrate name? Add name index, delete names, create the names table. Wrong number of arguments, given 3 expected 1 to 2. On which statement? 3. 1 to 2. Okay, so this is not a reversible migration. No indexes found on lives with the options provided. All right, we need to probably it's this. Or if it is that, we actually go ahead and do the up and edit code. That was not the window I wanted. Yeah, I don't have an account. All right, so up is remove. This would be add, in which case remove doesn't necessarily need anything. Remove index, probably it's that. Oh, and this would be, was it add index? Can't do that for a column that doesn't exist. Oh, it would be down. No indexes found on lives with options provided. Oh, do I have to specify name? Accounts? Remove the index on... Okay, that's like a default index. Okay, it is by name. So let's try and treat that as a column. And didn't even show up in the database console. Well, hopefully it'll be able to compact at some point. We might be able to start the next step. All right, another large string field that's on all of our entries, and a field which is going to have some high degree of duplication, we think. We can check that. DBD lives. It's gonna be like a counter group by. Although, I also need to take a short break. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, they're gonna get popped eardrums, but oh, jeez.
That's a long smoke break, boy.
Look at this, look at this. Are you blocking me off? Oh, this is funny. Alright, everybody got all their stuff? I haven't seen it in the chat. Can we farm with you? It's probably going to be up to Rye Guy. He's going to be the party leader. Back off my man, this guy.
Across an even rarer object. So to pursue the new lead instead, we may use some of the old research and resources. Sure, why not? Go for the new one. Raiders, Tale of Barony, County of something. Special Tithy. Perfect. Raiders have arrived.
They will not act smart. But, mind you, students are students, and not all students are smart students. So there are some students that are not 100% smart. So don't buy into that stereotype. If a student doesn't want to learn, they're not going to learn, no matter what ethnicity they are. Just giving you a heads up. Because I've got some students.
And we're back. Let's see. No. Isn't there I've got the SQL. There's some sort of like distinct count. I just usually end up doing group by. Is that going to count by group? Column must appear in the group by clause to be used in an aggregate function. Wait, lives ID. Where are we doing lives ID? Oh, I still need to. I just need to select. Probably default in everything. 9,000 account. Well, that's significantly less than the number of lives. No surprise. I know I did a thing for the count of individuals, but most people probably gonna have at least several. So what did we do? I think it was actually well, we have to create a table, which is probably gonna look an awful lot like the names table. LG migration. Create accounts. The ID is going to be implicit. I guess I can leave it as account hash. I think I'm eventually going to want other stuff on there, but that can be added later. When we actually get to gathering those stats. Create names. All right, you've got a fancy index. Oh, did I? Where did I add the... Oh, does add reference add the column? Maybe it does. So, okay, t.string, blah, blah, blah. We need an index on this. What did I have on lives? I did just have a plain old index. All right, this is names. All right, so no fancy indexes. Oh. Can I just do unique true on a regular old index? I probably need to do this format of it. And lives. Oh, maybe that's why it was names ID. But those are the table names. So So it might be accounts ID too. Maybe the pluralization was designed to go the other way. You give it account and it'll make it accounts. Table name, ref name. Yeah, products user. A user ID column. Oh, you have to specify. Well, that's probably for renaming it. So arguably, I should rename that and then fix all my references. Well, I don't know. It reads nicer, but it's also... pluralization stuff has also seemed kind of fancy. But that does seem to be intended use. In which case I should probably fix that first. And it's just going to try and migrate this. We try to do a migration. Data server, db, migrate. Should not process it there. Rename, name ID. I don't think there's any parameters I can really give that. Rename column lives, names ID, name ID, and that has all the arguments. And let's check it as long as we're here. Suppliers, description, name, column name, new column name. Oh, you know what else I forgot to do? After removing that column, if there was anything left that referred to... Oh, that rake test. Migrations... It's like, well, obviously after that it won't work. Okay, well, I didn't break anything major. I wonder if it's searching the database dump. Now, some of these could have been the old migrations. Right, because I accidentally added this file. Join table, ID, name ID, name ID, name ID. Now the rename we just did. Columns. Is that it? Oh, we have log files. Oh, do we have log files? That's probably what's taking so long to search. Renting in production, huh? Okay, well, the server's running right now. Did you keep a buffer open for this? No. Ruby and oh. You've also got it open. Okay, and the names that he was created implicitly from that one thing before. Okay, no complaints there. DB migrate, schema. Rename. Lives name. Foreign key. It's DB. Oh. You're going to go by timestamp. Well, that's just a file name. Uh, 231003 16 25 17. So that's probably UTC, but we're going to guess that 37 would be now current. And then, okay, so account, we assume we'll figure out that it's supposed to be accounts for the table, but the key will then be account. All right, how do we break this down? We created a table, we haven't put anything into it. So I guess this would be, if this was copy names, names insert, and then link. Counts, insert account hash from DB lives where, I guess having ID nil would be about the same as having hash nil. All right, lives, update, account ID. Counts where account hash is equal to lives account hash, and select the ID. Didn't really put any feedback in there. Okay, there's the select count. Oh, actually, this is an older one. This is still SIP 22. I think foreign keys are indexed. That's kind of what I was assuming that was doing. Oh, okay, so we got, oh, yep, checkpoint 26 seconds apart. We've already increased it once. I mean, it's not quite what it was. Not 4 seconds apart. Those bulk imports really push it, though. I don't know if this is from, I didn't put a print in between. I think for names, actually, this is 2 steps. So I'm not sure if this is creating the accounts or updating the lives. But for the future, Well, assuming that works, and I do want to check that it, well, I kind of want to commit that. Assuming it works. I can start looking at what it's going to take to do it. So this is during the regular load load live. So right now we've got a probably going to be common columns. Yeah. Plus common data. So we're going to want to do a import similar to names. It's basically going to work a lot like the name import process. We don't have any weird ordering or reset things in this case, so we should be able to always use the optimized version of that. And I guess I could build up the account hashes as we're going through that. I did modify this file. You're still open, right? How about we add this but don't commit it yet? Nope. Okay, so it completed. DB. That's about what we expected. DB. Okay, so it's got an account hash. It has account ID. So we have no reason to believe that that would not be correct. So that's looking good. Notes, we created it. Oh, I haven't updated all the queries yet. I could have been looking at that. Oh, you know what else I can do that I forgot about? Well, those other SQL references aren't hurting anything. Maybe we could do a cleanup pass in those at the end. All right, so like this. So I think props is the super props we got. This is the actual search. That was only in Graph Presenter that we used that at all. Migrations we're not going to mess with. Schema we're not going to mess with. And then import we still have to deal with. And then more logs. So actually, this should pretty much be it. Well, is it lineage search? No? All right, so here's was our name query. Where SQL.lit. Names. Oh, so we joined this because we always need to return the name. We don't need to join this unless we are doing that. I guess that could be a subquery in that case. Where name, well, then our primary query is, well, no, it'd be lives where account ID is in select ID from that. Oh, it's not in selection criteria for lineage, but it is a thing that one is going to have to join. Parameters, result. Wait. Oh, okay, that's where we did it for the results. That filters. This gets me all the stuff I need for that. This has other options. If I ever do want to do something with it, I guess you'd need to have it in the results. Undefined column. Name. Oh. Names.account ID. Did I do that? Doing okay. It's starting to get chilly here. Test hash search. Well, that's where you would expect to hit it. Names.account ID. Was that in the presenter? Didn't do names there. That's fine. Oh, did this pick up names ID because we joined it after that? No. Names.account ID. Is that this even? Missing from clause for table accounts. Where are we getting names.account ID from? This is graph presenter. This was very specific. Well, maybe. Does it even accept this though? Maybe you have to specify both tables. Maybe it's trying to join on names. There's names.account ID. We'll have to join accounts on accounts. Yeah, so it must be trying to do a consecutive join. SQL.join. No, that's a different kind of join. I think was that a set? Join table. Type table. Type of join. Table or view name. Conditions used when joining. Options. Can we only do a single join? Oh. Which fills the type argument. Well, fine. Did I mess something up over here? No, because it's... What about... Oh, official lineage link. Oh. Okay. Okay. I wasn't paying attention to my error messages. Let's go back to life search. See if this actually needs fixing. Standard data query. Relation left. Right. Maybe I should have to change the arguments when we do this. Official lineage link, which means, I think this means that this needs to do the full form. We are not on the most recent table. We are on lives. All right, so all of our typical use cases work. Localhost. The things we would get from this are colors. Okay, we've got colors. Update hash queries. I believe we have all of them. We'll know for sure once we remove the column. Update hash queries. So the import step, this could be a bit more involved, but it's going to be basically just like name logs. Okay, so load names. We have a list of just those. Make sure that they all exist. We're always going to do that. We'll need to look up the IDs and then map those back into our lives. And unfortunately, that's going to be awkward. Because we were going in through and preparing all of our data. Ooh, we actually deal with epoch advances during this. Well, we can get all of the information we need. Where do we do an update? We shouldn't have to deal with name-only type of things here. I guess I don't strictly have to remove the account. That would allow you to do link up later. It just seemed like a lot of repeated data. this will mean making 2 passes through lives. Wants to get all of the account hashes. That's a history. It is a load. It is all loaded. We're not actually iterating the file or anything. So we would collect all of the hashes. We would insert them. We would have to load them back to get all of those IDs. And I guess we determined last time that hashes were the way to go. Then in this loop, and we're not going to have to deal with epochs in that case then. Then we just look up the accounts. So that's all epochs, that's births and deaths. I think we'd actually do it before we got there. So and I have to have a I guess I could technically just define an application record object to use just for this. Wait, am I forgetting something? No, these are all lowercase. All right, load. Load names. There's our initial import. All right, to progress this, we need the map. This is getting to a slightly different format. One's in an array, one's not. If we do that, that's repeatable. It is not name, it is count hash. Okay, and we've got that. So as we go through here, it's no longer a singular thing, but I think that that's in common data. Oh, it's just life.hash. Was I doing life dot? Yes. Okay. So either we make that an argument or we simply insert it ourselves. It's not quite as nice to just say, here's all our columns. Also, I'm going to have to force a reload of some data. To even run this. Because we ran through on names already. Maybe I should have skipped the regular life logs. Well, we need that to attach the names to. This does depend on the life hash, though. Oh, you know what? That's even the first thing. Common columns is nice. It was nicer when it correlated directly with common data. Or we have you get the account map. Oh no, because it's not account hash anymore. It's account ID. You are in names. Oh. Account hash, I have to account for that too. I don't have that little field there. Okay, so actually this side is built in one place. What argument order did I use? Okay, so we swap that out to account ID. That will map the hash to the ID. Do we currently have any accountless lives? Let's see, I haven't run any imports yet. How about account ID? Okay, well, that might indeed be safe. All right, so what was I doing to test this? Oh, or was this in the task? Okay, so yeah, so test. So we picked some arbitrary day, perhaps a small day. Lifelog. Oh, these had hard-coded paths. Load log, lives load. Oh, so that's specific, and that's specifically doing log and names. This is where the cache dir might be a thing. Logfile.new path cache. Ah. So that's path, that's cache, that's properly updated. Let's load log file, right? So where is, it's this one. Output dir. Shush. So this won't create anything new, but it will exercise the code. Can we get some, all right, so there's names. No, this was names. We were up here, and then we'll have deaths, both births. That is when there was accounts. No real break where it's doing this processing, but it didn't take too long for names. And this did need the context stuff for the cache directory. Now I might have to break the skip for already imported. Undefined method map for family trees history. Yep, because we're already there. Oh, right, because it was lives. So lives.map, lives.map. This is where we need the lives.lives stuff to get the internal object. But what is that? That was a hash of some sort, perhaps by player ID? What are you doing? Oh, I do support lives.each. Okay. Without getting into all that internal representation stuff. Each. Okay. Oh, so this function must be below the point where we check for already imported. Not null violation error. Count. Oh, I had a not null constraint on there. That would be why we didn't have any. So I may have to do an interim insert of the actual account hash. Create lives. Maybe just because, I don't know if because it's an index. Oh, nope, null false. Oh, I didn't create my new one with size 40. Or null false for that matter. I wonder if I can change column that. All right, so I guess the one place this will end up working out. Or we cannot do a hard switch over because this actually has to change when the column disappears. Didn't seem too terrible much slower. And we do have a few more statements in there. So we think that works. I won't really be able to test it until I get new data import. And in that case, maybe we should defer the delete because it's about breaking time anyway. Remove hash from import. What we can do in the meantime, let's see, where is, that's the console. Import to separate hash table or account table. And then Rails G migration. Change account hash. I don't know. Specify. Yep. Oh, Rails. Configure. All right, configure. Create account. This will give us some of it. It's going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a change column. Yeah, it's making something different. Account hash. Accounts. Account hash. Create lives. Size 40. Null false. And probably string? Table name, column name, type, options. Okay, it had no, wait, so, oh. That's not an undoable. That's not undoable. Oh, that, e, would that go to defaults? It's like, what is it going to change it back to? Size 40, null false. No complaints about that. So none of the data seem to be invalid. No. And then that will be Well, there's that. There's delete it, test it. That will be the big data shift. I might want to do some other stuff with stats, but that's like that's mostly going to be like adding columns and stuff. I don't think it's going to be any other major database surgery. And I don't know that any kind of optimization would be comparable. But certainly there are unpleasant queries right now. But once I've got that, I can look at redoing the backup and how do we get it into our other... Well, can you even import a backup into the RDS server? You would think that would be something that you'd want to be able to do, but it might involve running it from an EC2 instance or something. let's see, and I think I'm gonna be done with all of these. So that's it for now. I want to have lunch and come back and generate some more data records by playing Win Our Own Life. Let's see. Yeah. So we certainly have 1 hour, 1 life. We have, no, it's 2 hours, 1 life. Let's see, that's not very technical. Got a bunch of people doing Ludum Dare. Well, is that the database work? How about Ruby Nova Dev? They seem to be doing some kind of game dev. Well, or they seem to be in Unity, so they're doing that level of stuff. So that's someplace cool to hang out. If there's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye and until next time.